I got in contact with CareerLabs through a webinar that they had conducted in my college. So after the webinar, I got added to a WhatsApp group, and over there I collected information and I contacted one of the representatives of CareerLabs, and I understood the program in detail. And after the webinar and gathering a clear understanding of what CareerLabs would do, I researched myself about the needs that I need to do and what I want to pursue in the future. And I thought that yes, CareerLabs is the right choice because it is aligned with my goals. Through the onboarding call, I got I got to know that I am a bit late, but not too late because I began my preparations in April 2020. So they told me that I'm late, but not too late. I can work from here, and they laid out a complete plan for me as to how to proceed, what to do in this month, and they set monthly targets for they set targets for each month that I need to complete this by this month. That is finish GMAT by latest by May, and then take up IELTS by June or July, and then start working on applications by July. And so they laid out the whole plan and they explained the process. How will I use the services, the Career Lab services, and they told me about the webinars that are conducted monthly, the focus of the month sessions. So through those, I was introduced to those, and definitely the CV drafting session, they were helpful in my in the process. When I began, my CV was really short. It did not. It was about half a page long because I had done some things, but I had not mentioned them in the way that they are supposed to be mentioned. I had not talked about the details in my CV, and so I think Shikhar Jaiswal, he was the person who was with whom I had my CV discussions. So he really helped me with my CV. Firstly, he told me that these are the things that I can do to help me strengthen my CV, and then he would ask me to create one draft for the CV, as in according to a format suggested by Career Labs. So I would list out the things, and then the editing team would edit out the stuff and point down in comments what I need to edit and to enrich my CV further. So through all those things, after first and then second and then third editions, the CV that finally came out, it was completely different from what I had began with, and that strengthened my CV. That strengthened my application to a great extent. The call was definitely helpful, and like I said, the PGA discussions document, those were shared after almost every discussion call. So through those documents, I would have summary of what was discussed and what I need to work upon, and I can look back to it whenever I need. And that was beneficial as I noted down the things, and accordingly I took them on as tasks that in this month I'll do this task, or I'll work on this course or internship or volunteering work, something like that. So through those discussion sessions, I was able to analyze the things that I would need in my profile so that it is much more stronger. I had my regular classes in the day and I did them. I performed. I tried to attend almost all of the classes. Luckily for me, during that time the pandemic was going on. Now, although it wasn't a great time for almost everyone, but I kind of used that time to my advantage. So what I did was, during that time I was confused with what can I volunteer about. I hadn't volunteered before at all, so I did not know what kind of volunteer work can I do. So during that time, the second wave of pandemic hit India. So I thought that yes, I can work with this, I can volunteer in this, and I found a number of volunteering activities online and in various websites, such as with Internshala, or almost all the NGOs, they had volunteering positions open. And so yes, I took up one of those positions. I used to attend the classes in my day, and then in the evening I would work on the volunteering work or anything. and at night when I'm free, I'll do some of the online courseworks that I had assigned myself to do. So through all these, I completed my process, and for the GMAT preparation and the for IELTS, I did not had to worry much because it was for later stage. But I was even preparing for GMAT during this time. So while what I used to do was that in between classes there won't be continuous classes, right? So in between classes, in breaks or in during long breaks of 3 to 4 hours, I'll take up some of the GMAT preparation and work on my GMAT as well in whatever amount of time I can give. Before I gave my GMAT, I asked the team for all the schools that I can apply that are some of the best schools in the world. So they gave me a PDF of which contained almost all the schools and with the MIM program in the and these were some of the best schools in all of the countries that I had chosen that I can study in. So after I gave my GMAT and after I submitted my CV, after the CV was completed and the GMAT was done, the IELTS was done, all of these examinations and all those things were done. They gave me the list of schools according to my chances of getting in. For example, there were some schools that were listed as ambitious for me. There were some schools that were listed as a match for me, and there were safe schools as well. So accordingly, they advised that these are the schools, and for to get into the some of the ambitious schools, I would have to really work on my essays and interviews. For the safe schools, I should apply to some of the safe schools as well, and the team advised me that I should apply to the schools in a manner such that there's a balance of safe schools, match schools, and ambitious schools as well, and that is what I did. I had to begin the application, I did not know how to proceed because MIM applications in particular, they are very specific. The questions asked are very specific and different for each school. Each school has a different format for the SOPs. Each school has different essay questions, and each school has different requirements from its students. For example, some schools require an IELTS, some schools do not, and so forth. So through these sessions, I understood that they were the how would CareerLabs help me was they told me to target one school at a time and uh, finish one application and then proceed to the next one. So this way the essays won't get jumbled up, and the team advised me that firstly draft upon your own answer on all of the essay questions. You can easily access the essay questions through the school's website. Just begin an application and then you can access the essay questions. So I did that. After beginning the application, I looked at the questions. Then there were word limits, character limits for those essay questions. So for example, if I talk about the JASIF application, that is the Join a School in France application, the word limit is really small, 500 characters for per question. Now this is it roughly translates to 150 words. Now to answer a question in 150 words, you have to be extremely precise. So I did draft my own version. The team looked at my draft and they did not edit it in general. They just told me that these are the things that I can talk about since this essay has to be very very precise. So they told me that talk about these things for this question, uh, such type of examples from your life or something like that. And then once the drafting process was complete, they would look at my essays and uh, help me tone it down to the required word limit. Did interact with the team in the beginning, in the April or May, in those months. I wasn't very interactive with the team, but later on I did start interacting, and I I just used to email any of my queries to the team, and although they would take quite some time to answer them, generally a day or so, but they did answer the question in detail, and almost all the aspects of the question were covered. and the best thing is they sent an email so I could look at the what was discussed late at the later event as well. For example, if I talk about my GMAT attempt, I had to give the GMAT twice. So after my first attempt, I wasn't very much satisfied with my score. So I talked to the team that will this score be enough for, or should I give another attempt? So they told me that this I scored 700 in my first attempt. So they told me that it's good enough, but to get scholarships or to increase your chances, you should try for another one if you have the time. The first application was to Imperial College. So in that application, now this was the first application, and the questions were again very specific and somewhat vague to me because I had not applied to any such program before. So I directly asked the editors, the team, that what should I write in this question, because in the beginning I wasn't very sure about what can be written for the questions. So they told me that look through the school's website and look for things such as that can suffice. For example, uh, look at the program structure, look at the uh, fee structure, look at the extracurricular activities, look at the courses that excite you. Now, I had already done these things before for the in the previous sessions, so those were helpful in while drafting the essays. Now, for essay drafting, what I did was like the same format that I followed before. I would draft my own version, and then the editors, Shikhar would look upon it, and he would edit the thing. He would not change the essay. He would only edit the grammar and make the English much more precise, and then comment on things that can be improved in the draft. And accordingly, I kept on editing my essays. So through these essay drafting sessions, what I gained was I gained a deep insight into the program and what exactly I need from the program. Now this deep insight was again beneficial in the later stage in the interviews processes, and I can't stress this enough. But the editor Shikhar, he was really good at what he did, and I, he was the best editor that could have been for my application. And apart from all those processes, there was this one thing that I did not like very much. It was that the mentors kept on changing, so I sometimes did not even know who my mentor is and whom should I contact if in case of any doubts. But that when I contacted the team about it, they solved this as well, and immediately I had a call with my mentor, and she told me about what to do next. And so in overall, now I think about it, the it was good that, and I think it was wise of me to take up career labs, because considering the cost of the complete package and what I have saved in terms of scholarships, the return on investment has been massive. Mentors were definitely knowledgeable, and the advice was, I would say, more or less consistent. But the only difference was that the connect, like you said, the connect was not there when the mentors kept on changing. But otherwise, the advice was fruitful. Firstly, the journey would be a long journey, and that is definitely true. So begin as early as you can. So in this way, you would have a lot of time in hand. And secondly, you need to be sure of what exactly you want from the program that you are applying to. So if you know what your goals are, and if the program is aligned with your goals, then you would be motivated to pursue your application and to get into that program. And that motivation is something that helped me to with my applications. Say the services are, I would rate the services 10 because I got what I wanted. Even though the journey even though the journey was long, and it took longer than I expected, but again, I could have begun earlier. So I'd rate it 10 because I got what I was expecting. I'd like to say thank you to everyone whoever helped me with my applications, to all of the editors, to the mentors, to Kritika ma'am for the webinars, and I'd regarding my admits, there's the post admit service process, right? Uh, as in which school should I select? So let's get on with that process as well as soon as you can.